communications and actions reveal a judge who publicly vilifies colleagues, is quick to threaten them with unnecessary legal action, and generally projects a spiteful and vainglorious persona.
The first African-American female and Democrat. Yes. I was never celebrated or congratulated. The first, on my day of swearing in, I was sworn in by Judge Emerson. I received my first JQC complaint.
Now, after these 30 charges were dropped on Peterson, she defended herself, and her main defense was that she was an inexperienced judge. And she had promised that all of the additional training that she received had helped her overcome this inexperience. But the problem is that Peterson is the highest paid judge in that county. So the most inexperienced judge should be given a pass for all these ethics violations, even though she's being paid more than any other judge?
Peterson's main defense was her inexperience as a judge, a problem she promised has been addressed through additional training. But the panel was not buying it. The report also cited multiple examples of failure to actually do her job, needlessly delaying petitions before her office. The hearing panel said Peterson was guilty of systemic incompetence. Judges are expected to act in a manner that promoted the integrity and impartiality of the judiciary. Respondent has shown that she cannot or will not do so. And so, she must go.
This could just be a generational thing. I'm telling you, these Gen Zs and these, no shade to my millennial friends, because there's some of you guys on here that are millennials, and I have more in common with you than my geriatric millennials. We here. I'm gonna give y'all a pass. But them early millennials on down, the Gen Alphas and the Gen Zs, it could just be a generational thing. Because I can't understand wanting to be congratulated just because you black and you female. I'd be like, but did you do something? I mean, wait, you want a medal? You want a Snicker bar? You didn't do anything. You just exist. And the issue here, why is she even bringing this up?
The first African-American female and Democrat. Yes. I was never celebrated or congratulated.
Why? I don't know if this is a hearing or an actual judicial review. I don't know what it is, but I'm trying to understand, why did that matter? And why did she feel the need to tell us that? And are we supposed to be moved by the tears behind it? Because if anything, that makes it worse. It's almost like they're not listening to themselves. They're saying it, but they're not listening to how it sounds. It perpetuates the stereotype that you really believe that you are superior and that you are better on the basis of your ethnicity. I'm telling you guys, this black girl magic done gone to some of these people's heads, and it is ruining society because you can't even engage in a meaningful way in conversations like this, because every time you talk, it's got to come up in conversation. Well, she's black and she's a woman, and it's just so hard. The crown adjustment, it's just so heavy, and the weight and the responsibility. It's like, I'm over it. I'm over it. What can you do? What are your skills that are notable, that deserve praise? What have you done? What have you accomplished outside of how you were born and what's between your legs? Because I really don't care anymore. I'm uninterested and I'm unmoved. And so much so, you guys, and this is me as a melanated woman saying this publicly, and I'm not trying to speak for other people who don't look like me, but I'm telling you what this is doing. When I drive in my community and I see all of the campaign signs of all of the black women who are running, it is sad that I have to literally submit to the Lord what's going on in my heart, because it's put a bad taste in my mouth based off of the experience that we are all experiencing in real life. And now I have to guard my heart against the extreme of don't trust none of them. That's wrong. That's sinful. But look what it is breeding in the culture. It's causing people to not even want to be bothered because of these bad apples that are spoiling it for the entire bunch. So to guard myself against sinful thoughts of assuming that if she's Black and she a woman and she running, that she's bad news, I have to go out of my way to get to know the candidate and find out who they are and what they represent. Because if not, that assumption is going to be made. So if I am Black and I am a female and I'm thinking this, what the heck do you think other people who don't share my ethnic image are thinking? That is proving the point. And now it is actually making it more difficult for those who are actually qualified, who don't want special treatment, who just want to be judged on the basis of what they're bringing to the job or to the role. Now they got to work extra hard to overcompensate for the orangutans that we've let loose into the judicial system and into our local political sphere. Now they got to overcompensate. That is sad. That is sad, and that should not be, but it's the truth. And so, just in the spirit of transparency, I'm just letting you know, as a believer, we have to guard our hearts about showing partiality in the reverse because of these bad apples and these bad actors and these narcissistic, irresponsible, lacking accountability females who have been able to rise to power, not because they're talented and qualified, but because they just happen to be the right color and the right gender. God's people, we have to guard our hearts against that, because if we're just being honest and transparent, it makes you be like, mm-mm. And that's not the answer either. The answer is not to judge on appearance and say, I'm not voting because something's wrong. We don't know that. But it makes it real hard not to enter into your mind to have that assumption, because of every story, major cities, something wrong with all of them. They just don't know how to act. There's impropriety and corruption because it's like they get a little piece of power. And they're not there to do a good job. They are there to fulfill their own self-interest. And that's the problem. They're trying to push personal agendas versus saying, I'm just glad to be at the table and I'm going to do a good job. And when I leave, I'm going to leave this court better than when I got here.